Unexpected changes or situations in our life that appear to be coming to an end can cause deep sadness and a lot of anxiety about the future. And with everything going on in the world right now, it seems like things are changing minute by minute. So today we're going to talk about how we can learn to shift our mindset from focusing on all these endings to instead embracing new beginnings and considering new possibilities and opportunities that could actually bring a lot deeper fulfillment and joy into our life. Stick around. Welcome back. My name's Nina and I'm a life coach that specializes in personal development. Here at this channel we talk all about our emotional well-being, understanding our own psychology, and leading our best life possible. So if you aren't already a subscriber, please take a moment and become one. We definitely want you to stay connected. So with everything happening in the world, or maybe just in the phase of life that you yourself are in right now, it is likely that you are being faced with situations that you never before anticipated. So maybe you are facing the loss of your job or a career ending. Maybe you are needing to move out of the home that you've lived in for 10 years. Maybe you are going through a divorce. All of these things can be overwhelming and can cause a lot of hurt and suffering. And this is something that we need to acknowledge to ourselves. We are going through something that is difficult, that is probably causing suffering. And it doesn't even have to be something that is as dramatic as the things that I have listed. Sometimes it's just a feeling that things in the world have changed or smaller situations have changed. But it does affect us, and that's something that we do need to acknowledge. We need to feel those feelings, we need to validate those feelings, and we need to express those feelings. And if we do not do that, we're not going to be able to move on to any new situation. So that is definitely the first part of the process. It's important to remember, however, that this part of the process cannot be endless. There must be an end point at some point, because otherwise we just get stuck in the cycle of despair. It's an endless loop of negativity where we are telling ourselves that we are hopeless, that because this particular thing is ending, that nothing else good will happen to us, that we shouldn't even try, that it's going to be all downhill from here. By telling ourselves these negative stories all the time, we are telling ourselves that we will never be happy or we will never be successful. Imagine if we were a parent telling our child the type of stories that we tell ourselves every single day. So for example, imagine if you as a parent knew your child had a big test coming up, and instead of encouraging her to study and to do her best, you told her, well, you really shouldn't even try. You're not that smart. You're going to do terrible on the test. So I don't even think you should bother with this. In fact, the teacher probably does not even like you. I mean, you're going to get a bad grade. And I don't even think the kids in your class probably like you. Maybe you should stop going to school altogether. Now this sounds ridiculous, but this is not far-fetched from what we tell ourselves all the time. We tell ourselves stories that are even worse than this all the time. In fact, I want you to think about the situation that you are in right now and really walk yourself through all the negative, terrible things that you have been telling yourself about this situation that clearly are not true. Just like the child in the example would never have the teacher and the student just hate them and be definitely 100% destined to get a terrible grade and feel the need to, never go to school again. The things that we are telling ourselves are not true either. So this is why mindset becomes so important. It is not surprising at all that we are not thinking about our future as some wonderful magical opportunity for greatness, but rather we are really focused on catastrophizing what situation we are in now. So we need to instead really learn how to empower ourselves and uplift ourselves and start to see things the way they really are instead of through this dark and unrealistic lens. Now, it is undeniable that negative things do happen. Bad situations do happen. And like I said, we don't want to have this idea of toxic positivity and just think that we need to be happy all the time, even when bad things happen. But we do need to realize that so much of our happiness and so much of our outlook and mindset is completely under our own control. External experiences, no matter how terrible they may be, only make up about 10% of how happy or unhappy we actually are. And the research on this is extremely clear. So if we were to think about happiness as a big circle, as a big pie, half of that circle would be due to genetic predisposition. So different people are born with different levels of happiness. That is true, but no matter what, no one is going to be at zero. So you have been genetically gifted with at least some degree of happiness. And believe it or not, even here, there are many things that we can do to really increase our happiness set point, which we can talk about in another video. But you have some degree of happiness that was gifted to you just by being born. Now, on the other side of the pie, we have those two slices. We have that teeny tiny slice that is only 10% of the pie, and that is those terrible life experiences or the wonderful life experiences, but they only affect us 10%. 40%, and that is a huge number, has everything to do with our mindset and our perception of the actual events. So keeping that in mind, consider the possibility of feeling 40% happier about your life situation and how much that could enhance how you are feeling about what you are going through right now. So that is exactly what we want to work towards. So the first thing we want to think about when we think about new beginnings or these endings that we are experiencing, what in this current situation could we potentially view as an opportunity? So we've been thinking about it as being this awful thing that happened to us. We are a victim because this happened to us. But if instead we thought about it from another perspective and really thought about it from a more positive perspective, as difficult as it may be to think of things, we want to brainstorm in what way is this situation an opportunity for me? Maybe it gave me more time with my family. Maybe it gave me time to think about what I really wanted in life. Maybe the situation that I was in wasn't as good as I was thinking it was. But you want to brainstorm and you want to think about what opportunities came from this end. The next thing we want to consider is within that old experience, what needs were not being met? Where was I unfulfilled? What aspects of that experience did not bring me happiness? What could potentially be improved upon? When we realize that no situation is ever perfect, we can understand that there is always an opportunity for positive change that could be more fulfilling and ultimately better for us than the old experience. The next question we want to ask ourselves is, what do I want my future to look like? Now that we have a blank slate, we can do whatever we want, and that is such an incredible blessing. And so many times when we're in situations for a long time especially, we do not allow ourselves to dream any further. And when we give it some introspection, we can often see that we have unfulfilled dreams. We have things that we really wish we could do, and we want to really identify those now, because once we identify what we want, we can start working towards those things. And the last question we want to ask ourselves, and this is not always applicable, but many times it is, and that is if the current experience that is ending could potentially lead to greater experiences that are kind of related. So let me give you an example of this. So I have a friend who has a yoga studio that she has had probably for 8 or 9 years. She is obsessed with yoga. She just loves it. So she was absolutely devastated when she had to close her studio because of the pandemic. For a while, she felt that her identity was being challenged and that her life was basically over. But eventually she realized that she could use this as an opportunity, that she owed it to herself to continue moving forward. And that's exactly what she did. So she moved her business online. She has been able to do fantastically well by pre-recording her yoga sessions and posting them daily for her students. And that has given her a lot of extra free time because she used to have to go in every single day, and now she does not need to do that. She also decided to start writing a book about yoga, which ended up being really life-changing for her because she realized how much she loved writing and that she was actually more fulfilled writing than she was doing yoga. So she really started a new career for herself, and she's also recently decided that she is going to start an apparel line. So she's going to stay connected with yoga in that way as well. So just by shifting that mindset, she was able to open up so many different opportunities for herself that she would have never considered if she just stayed stuck in what she had been doing over and over and over again for, again, that close to 10 years period of her life. So we have to remember that when doors close, new doors always, always, always open, and we need to be open to finding them. Do remember, however, that just because an experience ends doesn't mean it goes in the trash can. These are parts of our life that we keep forever. These are parts of ourselves. These are our memories, and we can cherish them and we can hold on to them in that way, but we don't want to get stuck in that chapter. Just because something is great does not mean it has to continue in that same way forever and ever and ever. So these are little puzzle pieces that'll always be with us, but we can start to add new pieces to the puzzle that ultimately, again, make our life more fulfilling. Even though it feels like maybe one path in your life has gotten blocked, that we still do need to go forward, and we can simply just change the direction of our life, change the path, and see where it leads. And again, thinking about our own perception and our own mindset, it can be as good as we allow it to be. So allow yourself to create the life that you really want to lead. Allow yourself to dream, and I look forward to hearing in the comments what you are going to do for your own new beginnings. So as always, I hope this video was helpful to you, and if it was, please like it, share it with someone else who may need to hear the same message today, and also do become a subscriber if you aren't one already. We definitely want you to stay connected, and I thank you so much for spending time with me today. Have an absolutely amazing day.